Let's rock this joint!
And we say, goodbye 80s, hello 90s.
After years of isolation, the 90s brought South Africa hard-fought democracy and integration into the global community. Grunge, Kwaito, the internet, cell phones, CDs, and boy bands exploded onto the scene, bringing with it an edgier, but also more media-savvy customer. BMW had already won our hearts on the streets and the racing circuits of South Africa. But how would it remain relevant in this shifting landscape? Fact is, BMW continued to do what it did best, making exceptional cars with increased reach brought by the new media platforms. Its DNA was visible on a far greater scale. Still, BMW had another secret weapon.
We also had benchmark advertising. And I mean, one ad that stands out in my head because I had to write the argument for the claims we made in that ad was the land speed record ad.
Aha! E39 M5, the fastest saloon car in the world.
Exactly.
No car enthusiast does not know that ad. I'm actually getting goosebumps just thinking about this ad, right?
I do too.
So you were involved with that?
I was involved in that. I mean, I was part of the team that created the concept together with the agency. I mean, we were the fastest saloon car on the planet, based on measured acceleration times, stopping times, that was 0 to 100, back to 0, and so on. So we were challenged by many brands who thought they were, and we proved ourselves right.
Because it was cheeky.
But it was factual. In that era, advertising was quite cheeky, which was a lot of fun. You remember the Beat the Benz ad and so on. So, I mean, it was all part of a certain era of BMW here in South Africa.
When a certain rival glorified the fact its car survived an unscheduled roll down the side of a mountain, BMW responded immediately with a now iconic advert showing that maybe superior handling was an even better selling point.
Doesn't it make sense to drive a luxury sedan that beats the Benz?
Of course, the ad ended up being banned, but the impact was still made.
One or two ads were a bit even cheekier and we got a little bit in trouble for, but that was part of the fun. I mean, South Africa, again, we were pushing the limits, pushing the limits in vehicle design, pushing the limits in racing, we pushed the limits in advertising.
The 90s was a watershed moment for BMW South Africa. Plant Rosslyn was the only plant in the world outside of Germany that was manufacturing the BMW 3, 5, and 7 series. And not just the entry-level 730i, but the super luxurious barnstormer 750iL with its silky smooth and insanely powerful 5-litre V12. And as if that was not enough, Plant Rosslyn was manufacturing the E34 M5 and its ultimate M swan song, the E36 M3s. More about those a little later.
With power steering.
How's it from the E34 M5? They just keep getting better. The early 90s was iconic for BMW South Africa. And apart from this car, there was sort of a replacement car. That was the 540i, which was a V8 and it was manual. In fact, the manual version was only available in 72 units, making that car extremely rare. When you bought one of those cars back in the day, they'd give you a plaque, which was sandblasted with the VIN number and of course the number of the car. Again, I see how fortunate I am to be able to switch between an E34 M5 and its replacement, the 540i manual.
marketing department that pushed the limits in its own way. A bunch of marketers with enough vision and swagger to keep executives from rival brands up at night. BMW made bold cars and wasn't shy about it. With era-defining campaigns, BMW stayed right in the center of the cultural conversation. But as iconic as the marketing was, it was still the cars that did the talking.
I think talking about the early days is important.
Yeah, it was late 74, and we had this small little company next to us called BMW.
It was a nothing at the time, I can imagine.
Absolutely. And I got a call from a chap with the name of Ronnie Meacham,
Okay.
who was the marketing director. And he told me that BMW has now decided to take over the plant and everything, and it will become a full subsidiary. And if I could come and see him. And I said to him, Ron, I don't think so, because, I really am a bit more ambitious than joining this small little company next door. And I see a career in front of me with a much larger company.
Yes.
So, but Ron could sell ice to an Eskimo. And lo and behold, 5 o'clock that evening, I was in his office.
No way.
For an interview.
Okay.
So I think I left at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And he showed me some of the most beautiful stuff that's coming. And of course, when I saw those leaflets and the color photos of the cars,
It started making sense.
it started making sense to me. Still remember I had in my office a little sign, which I copied from a rental company, and it says, "We try harder."
Okay.
Because to my mind, what we tried harder, because we had this massive Mercedes-Benz thing in front of us, of controlling and dominating the luxury market.
Okay.
My first question to them was, where am I going to sit?
Okay.
So they said, well, you'll have to join the desk with your boss, because we don't have enough desks for everybody yet.
It was that small?
It was that small, because there was also no money.
Oh, yes.
The whole idea was that I would start developing a dealer network for BMW. So I had to look at and somebody who had maybe a chamois and a driver's license, and that was about good enough to get a...
Wow.
All I could offer them was a dream, and the dream I had. We didn't have the 3 Series, just remember.
5 and 7 series. So
That's
this
it.
is mid-80s. The 728
Yes.
and the 5,
Yeah, a 528,
528 as well.
520, and a 518 then later on.
And then when did you start stocking the E30 on your floor?
That was in 83.
In 83.
Only in 83 that we started with that. And and that was, of course, an unbelievable turning point for BMW.
Yeah.
If you look back today, that was the turning point.
This was the turning point.
Absolutely.
This was the game changer. So, what was it an easy sell for you, this car? I mean, on a dealer floor, a customer walks in and they see it, or was it a hard sell? Did you have to bring out your best selling skills and?
Not at all. Let me tell you, we were on allocation,
Okay.
so we never had enough stock. We never. There were times that I did not have one single 3 Series on my floor
You're kidding me.
because they could not produce enough.
And who are your customers?
Our customers were running in, and they were telling me, because we had a slogan in the advertising, and it said, "I want it because I want it." And everybody,
Simple.
and then it's very simple. So a guy would come into the showroom, literally, and say, "I want it because I want it."
Yeah, don't ask too many questions
Yeah.
around it.
And all we had was then, for instance, very often, we just had a demo on the floor just to show him.
Yeah.
But we had no stock.
We achieved a fantastic, excellent, as I said before, relationship with the dealer network, within the company, camaraderie.
The undoubted diamond in the crown, however, was the fact that Plant Roslin also assembled the BMW range-topping 850i. This was done by a small team of people in a special section of the factory, much like how the legendary BMW 745i started. Once again, a BMW South Africa first.
Hello there from the most expensive BMW ever built at its time, the 850 CSI. Rare, beautiful, sleek, unique. Those are the words you associate with a Grand Tourer equipped with a V12 engine. I mean, this car hauls 6 gears, and when you put your foot down, hey, this thing picks up. Very unique and very rare with the pop-up lights. So special and gorgeous to see, even to this day.
The 850i is not a car you'll find in Greta Thunberg's garage. But it was born in a different time and was the product of a bold, brave company keen to establish itself as the frontrunner in the luxury and performance segments. The 850i was bold, brash, and not afraid to show its teeth. And when it came to marketing, the brand did the same. Because BMW South Africa had proven themselves to be this good, manufacturing all these cars, the next step was to become the producer of the E46 3 Series sedan for export to the rest of the world. Yes, we are that good that the world got its E46 3 Series sedans from us. BMW plant Roslyn then went on to win the JD Power International Award for Quality. Yep, you guessed it. Once again, the first and only South African manufacturer to do so. All hail the 90s.
The new BMW 3 Series.
The fact is, BMW has always done things a little differently. But their key philosophy, to win on Sunday and sell on Monday, never changed. And no car summed up that philosophy quite like the BMW M Series.
You've watched the video. Now buy the limited edition book detailing the exceptional history of BMW in South Africa and the unique and amazing cars created here. Click on the link below to secure your copy now before they're all snapped up.